And I'm so excited. I have Paul Lawrence Vance with me today. I'm so happy. And we're going to talk about, well, all sorts of things. I want to say all things military and military mortgages. So there is a big current dilemma right now with military mortgages. So what do we need to know about the current impact that it's having on military members and specifically their families?
Welcome to the Jennifer J. Hammond Podcast. Jennifer is a licensed realtor, educator, speaker, and best-selling author. Jennifer's goal is to help you find your yay in every day.
Hello. This is Jennifer J. Hammond. And I'm so excited. I have Paul Lawrence Vance with me today. I'm so happy. And we're going to talk about, well, all sorts of things. I want to say all things military and military mortgages. So there is a big current dilemma right now with military mortgages. So what do we need to know about the current impact that it's having on military members and specifically their families?
Yes, Jennifer, thank you so much. I'm honored to be here with you. And the major issue taking place with our military, active duty, Guard and Reserve, and their families is that a lot of them are going through mortgage foreclosures to the effect that right now, 6,000 are in foreclosure. And there's another 34,000 who are delinquent. So it is absolutely something that we need to address. We need to get some assistance from the VA. Congress has already moved on this, which resulted in a pause taking place until May 31st of 2024, until they can come in with a new program. And that's really what this is all about.
Well, and you've worked with the Veteran Administration, which is always a challenge, but you were assigned the Capitol Hill. And we talk a little bit about, it's funny, I've been up on Capitol Hill, lived in Washington, D.C. for 27 years. And it's interesting because it is a challenge to, I want to say, coordinate everybody
Exactly.
to really get them to not only communicate, and I mean, I've done enough, and even the radio shows that I've done in events on Capitol Hill to know that I would say one of the good news, the yay in this is that both sides of the aisle seem to be interested in helping, whether it's Republicans or Democrats. I've put them both in the room. I've had them both on panels. And as much as they don't agree on a lot of things, they definitely agree that we need to help. So how have you found working on Capitol Hill and working with the Veterans Administration? What were some of the challenges, but also what are some of the yay moments that you've seen?
Well, thank you for asking. And I was on the Hill as a part of the Government Affairs Institute of Georgetown University. So I worked for a member of Congress who happened to work in the House Armed Services Committee. And that's primarily why I was there, so I can work on issues like getting more tanks, more aircraft, more Navy ships, Marines, the boots and the bings, as the commander states. But when it came to the yay moment, it was those moments, as you stated, when we really want to make a difference with our veterans who we really take care of. I'm happens to be a veteran myself. And so I work with the VA department itself. And in so doing, some of the yah moments I have was like getting an increase in the pension, increase in the health care, because health care is big. And of course, for the families, military families, people often forget about the military family, but they play an instrumental role because if a member is serving, if they're deployed, they really need to focus on the mission. And if they can't focus, then it impacts readiness. And that's some of the yah moments that I have. And other than that, it was really working on, as you stated, both sides of the aisle, not only the Republicans and Democrats, but also with the independents, the different caucuses. So the member that I worked for was in the New England caucus out of Rhode Island. So I worked a lot with them. And one of the members, the senator, Reed from Rhode Island, he also sent a letter to the VA getting them to pause the foreclosure actions on the military families and, of course, the active member with the VA-backed loan. So those were the young moments for me.
So, yeah, thank you so much. I'm always looking for that silver lining in all of it because we're all face challenges, and at one time or another, we all need help. So, Paul, what about yourself? Let's talk a little bit about you. How did you evolve into well, wanting to help and also wanting to understand this mortgage foreclosure situation in the military community.
Yes, and thank you for that question. The way it came up for me, I have a financial background, cost estimating when I was a second lieutenant, just starting out, then a budget analyst, and then a financial manager. And not only that, but I had a 2-year break in service after serving 2 years, and I worked for Mobil Oil, so I was involved in the oil and gas as well. And now, how does that all come together? When you work on those numbers, the financial piece, you work on everything. I also happen to be with the BRAC, which is base, realignment, and closure. And we had to calculate if we close this base or if we realign it, then housing is still going to be impacted by those members of the military who are not living on base. So if they have a house, it's going to affect the value of the house, the taxes. And if that base closes, they're going to have to sell it and they may very well take a loss. And what happened, I transitioned and retired from the Air Force, and I started out as a speaker. And the local television station, CBS, was looking for financial experts. So I volunteered myself. I wanted to serve on that side. That was a yaw moment as well. And it was during the 08, 09 time frame
Yeah.
when people lost their jobs, they lost their houses, and some people even lost their mind. It was that bad. And my specialty were two. One was mortgage foreclosures. What should people do to prevent losing their home? And the second was when you receive a summons from the judge to appear in court because you didn't pay your credit card bills or your loans or your car payments, then how to avoid that as well. So that's the expertise. And so then I decided to take it to the next level, working with our military folks, because I was a speaker for a 12-city speaking tour for the National Military Family Association. So that aspect came in right there. Absolutely.
Well, and I appreciate that you were on CBS TV in Washington, D.C. I think
Yes.
so often we realize that we need to get the information out there. And I know you know that there are so many people who, when they start to get in a situation, I don't even know if it's always pride, but they're embarrassed and they don't want to talk about it. And so having somebody who is willing to talk about it and willing to share solutions is so critical. And I say critical enough that, on my, 10 years on SiriusXM, I've had more than one person confess that they were contemplating suicide.
Yes.
You know?
It happens. It really happens. And of course, the VA has a crisis hotline that people can call in. If they can't call in, if they're going through the crisis, a family member can call in and give them some assistance and some help with some counselors, and then getting a team out to the house or wherever they happen to live and give them that assistance that they need. And we know with the pandemic that it was really a tough time for everyone. A lot of the military, I guess the family members, dependents, lost their jobs. For example, we have a lady, her and her husband had a house. Her husband was injured in the Iraq War. Her mother contracted COVID and eventually passed away. So she had extended leave away from her job, and ultimately they fired her, which meant there was less income, which meant that the burden fell on the disabled veteran. And as a result, they went through foreclosure. But once they reached out to the VA and there was a pause put in for the mortgage, they were able to save their house because they had what's called with COVID-19, Congress put into place a law that would allow them to provide partial claims, which meant they paid just part of the mortgage, not the full amount. And then eventually they would put the back end, what they owe on the back end of that loan, which typically does not happen with VA loans. It happens with FHA, Freddie Mac, Freddie Mae, but not with VA loans. And so now they're instituting a new program to help people to keep those interest rates down, because with that partial claim, the interest rates were 2 to 3%. But if they lost their house, the mortgage foreclosure goes up to 7.5%. $600 or $700 additional dollars per month, as opposed to if the VA had not stopped that partial claim program. Yeah.
So how can the military and veterans get in touch with the VA about mortgage and initiatives to resolve the dilemma? The VA housing assistance, can you talk about it?
Yes, I'd love to. In fact, what they can do is go to www.va.gov, G-O-V, again, www.va.gov. And once they go there, they'll be able to call in and then ask for mortgage assistance, and there will be someone there to assist them. And they also have a toll-free number, which I will provide, which is 1-877-827-3702. Again, 877-827-3702, and just ask for mortgage assistance, and they will provide you with a counselor to help the distressed mortgages that are out there.
And I'm curious on what do you see as the future for military families and veterans? Like how, I mean, one thing that, again, I should go back to the basic. One thing that we probably could have started with, which I'm always amazed with, is that so many people don't know what a VA mortgage is.
Yeah.
So let's kind of talk a little bit. I want to say the silver lining, because it still exists, and I still find that so many people don't know anything about it. So will you share a little bit about it?
I'd love to. In fact, what it entails when it comes to a VA loan, a person, for example, you can go, Jennifer, you can go to the VA. Let's say you're a dependent or someone in your family, and you want to get a VA loan. You don't have to pay any down payment on it. And it's backed by the VA, so it's backed by the federal government. And this VA loan can be serviced by, say, Bank of America or PNC or Chase Bank, but it's guaranteed by the VA. And that's the primary difference. But again, the pure VA loan does not allow one to go in and put the missed payments on the back end of the loan. And so that's what's being worked out now with this pause that takes place until May of 2024, May 31st of 2024. They're coming in with a new program, and it's called the Veterans Assistance Servicing Purchase. That's what it's called. VAPS, another acronym. and another acronym. And so it's Veterans Assistance Servicing Purchase. And what this does, it allows the holder of that mortgage, that's veteran, for example, and the family, to keep the mortgage payments low with the lower interest rate. And if the veteran happens to be in a foreclosed situation, what the VA is going to do, they're going to work with the service provider. Let's say that's Bank of America, PNC, and they're going to bring back that loan. And it's going to be a pure loan, and that would allow the VA to work directly with the family so they can keep the mortgage payments down and keep it to be in that category of being affordable. And that's really what it's all about. And we know that right now, Jennifer, that the veterans' homelessness is just really a problem. And that includes the families as well. So we need to do everything that we can, work with the members of Congress and the Senate and the House to help them, to help the VA make it such that we can decrease the number of homeless persons that are out there, veterans and family members out there, and so they can have a normal life like everyone else has.
Yeah, I think that we need to end homelessness, period. But definitely in the veteran community, I'm always it just really touches my heart to see the numbers. And obviously with the pandemic, they got worse, for so many reasons.
Absolutely.
I hate to end on that note, but the silver lining is we're going to do something about it, and we are going to find solutions, whatever we need to do. So let's talk about you. So how do the listeners find more about you? Yes. You have a new book out too. Yeah. They can hear you and they can read about you.
And thank you so much. And the title of the book is Leadership is Influence. And it provides a three-pronged approach to becoming a leader of influence. And primarily, the book is there to help people to become the influential leaders, to develop their managers and their employees to become leaders as well, because that adds to the valuation of the company, and it helps them to maximize their human potential and gives them a competitive advantage. And the book is also for individuals as well, because most people don't know that they're leaders. But Jennifer, you're a leader, I'm a leader. And people ask, well, how can you say that? Well, we all have to lead our lives, every one of us. And as a result, the book also helps with that, but people can find it at www.leadershipisinfluencebook.com, or they can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Google Play, Google Books. They can find it almost anywhere that a book is sold. Absolutely. And thank you so much for allowing me to do that.
Absolutely. And it's such a pleasure to have you on the show. And as you know, I'm going to ask you to lift your voice and say yay with me as we go off the air. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. 3, 2, 1.
Yay! I love it.
I'm so happy to have you.